Good evening. Welcome to another exciting edition of So Into Bourbon. I'm Glenn. This is Charlie. Charlie, why don't you tell them what is before them on the bar tonight?
Knob Creek 10-year rye.
Okay, Knob Creek 10-year rye. So this is a new product from Knob Creek. You may have picked up in the intro that Charlie's not super excited about this. He's not the biggest Knob Creek fan. I am. I feel like Knob Creek, bang for your buck, is one of the best bourbons, whiskeys on the market. Most of their releases are aged pretty well, 7 years, 9 years, 12 years, 15 years. I was not pleased with the Knob Creek 18, as you know, and I'll link it here if you want to watch that episode that was released last year. Not pleased with that, so I have high hopes for this one.
Okay. I don't know. There are very, very few, and we had this conversation today about do you like bourbon? Are you a bourbon fan, or do you like one specific bourbon, one specific flavor profile or proof, and that's it? This is maybe the only brand, pretty much across the board, that I don't like. That I can't find something that I like, and I've had a lot of them.
Can't find anything you like.
Well, back in the day, remember 3 or 4 short years ago, Knob Creek, you could find single barrels that were 13, 14, 15 years old at grocery stores. And their barrel proof rye was out, and it was 10 or 11 years old, and et cetera, et cetera. And there's just a flavor profile there that I have never really enjoyed. Now, we recently went to the Fraser History Museum for a Father's Day event with Fred and Freddie Know, and they had the 7-year rye. Is that correct? Is that the one that they had?
I believe so, yeah.
And
it's just a Knob Creek rye, which I believe is 7 years.
Yeah, Knob Creek rye.
They just added the age statement.
And it was okay. And they had the Fraser History Museum single barrel Knob Creek, which was, how do I say this politely? It did not elicit a visceral response from me. Like, I wasn't like spewing it from my mouth. It was fine. And you actually bought that bottle.
I seem to think that you liked it.
It was fine. So I'm anxious, eager, somewhat cautious.
And I'm going to ask you to keep an open mind, because I do think, because you are Charlie, and I know this is going to be hard to believe for those who watch us, when you get an idea in your head and you believe something, you believe it, and it's hard to move you off of that belief, right?
Maybe.
So
maybe that's
I'm really hoping. I'm hoping that this is the bottle.
What's the mash bill, Glenn?
We don't know. It's non-disclosed.
Nobody knows.
But it's assumed or believed to be that it's just slightly above the minimum rye mash bill of 51%.
Great.
So this bottle is a 10-year age-stated rye for $69.99, which is not a bad price.
What proof is it?
In today's bourbon economy.
All right, Don Corleone.
It's 100 proof.
Okay.
This bottle was actually gifted to me by someone.
Who was it gifted by, Glenn?
Oh, just a friend.
Who? Speak his name.
TJ.
Bruzel bought this.
Yeah, so when we were out doing bourbon hunt videos, he was kind enough to purchase it.
It does have. It has a nice. It has a nice amber color. Not to step on you talking about your best friend Bruzel. It has a beautiful color. Very nice. It's kind of amber. Pretty. Puts a little ring around the glass. It's not.
Yeah, it sticks. It doesn't really. There's not a lot of legs.
Yeah, it is a little oily.
Let's nose.
Nosing it.
It's got a great nose. Love that cola. Love that cola note. There's some cherry there. There's some oak. I'm not getting a whole lot of rye character, are you?
Smells like Knob Creek. I wish you would have blinded me on this one.
I wish I would have too. I really do.
There is just...
Because you're so predisposed
It's
to
not
criticize
a
Knob
predisposition.
Creek.
It's just that I don't like the way it tastes, and it's not. And you know me, and
I know you do. I do know
one
you.
of the critics and one of the critiques that people have of our channel has been like, you like everything, like you rate everything. Like you, it's because we like bourbon. I'm telling you that this is outside typically of
So
my
I
flavor
don't
profile.
understand what you don't like about that nose.
I don't like
that.
the-
Is a classic.
It has a funkiness on it that disagrees with me.
Okay, let's drink it.
He's mad. He's
Not
big
mad.
mad.
I think. Let's
Okay,
just-
hold
let's
on,
just drink.
hold on, hold on,
Okay.
hold on. It's swirled around a little bit. I'm gonna nose it. I'm gonna try to give some nosing notes because he's upset.
Because now the rye character's coming through,
There is a little bit of rye spice there now.
which is funny. The nose has changed significantly
So
from
much.
like 2 seconds
and it's
ago.
so funny you say that because when I first nosed it, it smelled like wet socks to me. Or something of like that I just did not like it. And now, just after us arguing here on camera, it is opening up a little bit.
All right, let's drink.
Cheers.
We did.
Angry
already.
man.
Okay. I'm gonna let you go.
Okay. It is sweet up front, then you get some rye spice, and it's first drink. I didn't like the aftertaste. And I say aftertaste. There is a funkiness to these Knob Creeks, and I don't know what it is for me. I don't know if it's the char. I don't know if it's the mash bill.
I think whatever it is, it's the barrel. I don't know if it's the char or just the barrel itself. I think what you don't like has to do with the barrel.
It must be, whether it's a deeper char or less char or whatever it is, but there's part of that I like. It's like front palate, mid palate, and then right at kind of like halfway through, it transitions into a finish and an aftertaste that I'm not super fond of.
So I'm going to give a honest, open review here. I think it's very oaky. Like the finish is very oaky, which it's a 10-year. There's some bitterness there, but I will say up front on the palate, it's very smooth. I like the mouthfeel. I think it's got that rye character, but it drinks more like a high rye bourbon than a straight rye, I would say. I'm gonna go back in because
Yeah, and second or third drink, it's not as, I don't love it, but I'm not like running away from it either. It's fine.
so I'll say this. So the Knob Creek 18-year bourbon, I thought I did not like at all. Like especially for the price. Like it was
the most meh.
very disappointing.
Yeah, it was the most
for the
meh
price. There was a
bourbon
nice
ever.
cherry note that I liked, and that's it. I think, and I told you at the time, I felt like maybe they proofed it down a little too much. But maybe that was a good thing. Maybe it was terrible at a higher proof. I don't know. I feel like 100 proof is spot on for this. With all the oak character, I feel like, and the rye spice, I feel like if they would have gone higher proof with this one, it might have been a little too much. I like this bottle, especially for $70 for a 10-year rye. How many 10-year ryes are out there on the market? Whistle Pig. What else? Jeez.
Old Overholt.
Old Overholt.
Which
Good
is a
luck
limited
finding
run,
that. Yeah.
There's not
There's
a lot.
another one that I can't think of, but it's a classic, rye. There's not a lot of 10-year ryes on the market.
Yeah.
Especially, you're probably not going to find one for $70 or under.
And it's fine. It's okay. I'm trying to approach it with an open mind and trying to it's not my favorite. It's not in my wheelhouse. It's not in my flavor profile. It's not bad. I just don't like it as much as I like other things. I would rather spend $70 on a variety of other things.
Now, I will say,
oh, he's going to say.
if I had to choose between buying this bottle and just the regular Knob Creek Rye, which 7-year age stated now, I think I'd still go with the Knob Creek Rye, the 7-year. I think that's just a really good all-around whiskey. Stands up well in cocktails. It's got nice chocolate notes, especially if you like old fashions and you want to use it in an old fashioned.
I can see this being good in a cocktail. But, you know, it's one of those things where, and I'll take the hate because there's a lot of people that love Knob Creek.
I'm getting some char and some caramel on the finish now. I think it's kind of opening up, and I don't know. You know, it's just one of those things. It's just not a flavor profile that you like.
And this is one of the things, and we were actually talking about this today on the phone when we were kind of prepping today for episodes, is it's okay if there are some bourbons or some blends or if you're not a rye fan. Like, I don't like grits. It's one of the few things in the food world that I don't like. I don't like grits. I just don't like them. I've never liked them. My grandmother is like, she makes great cheese grits and everybody goes crazy. I don't like them. I don't like them. And that's okay. But when it comes to food, well, you wouldn't accost someone in the grocery store who's like, how do you not like Brussels sprouts?
Right.
How do you not like squash? Squash is great. But we often like throw people under the bus, and we'll give them a hard time if there's a bourbon that they don't like. And this all comes down to it's food. It's something that you're consuming and you're tasting, and it has flavor. So if somebody says, hey, I don't like this, or that doesn't taste good, okay, that's fine. Let's find something you do like, or that's okay. Like, let's stop the shaming about not liking things, Glenn. It's ridiculous.
I like it. It's not the best rye I've ever had. It's not the best bourbon I've ever had, obviously, because it's not a bourbon. At $70 for a 10-year, it's a buy for me if I'm looking for something like that. Now, very oaky. If you don't like oak, don't buy this.
Here's what I will tell you about this $70 10-year age dated rye. If I'm going to spend $70+ on a rye, and on a rye, I'm going to find an Indiana rye from a craft distiller,
like a 95.5.
Like, if I'm going to do that, and do I care if it's 5 years or 7 years or 4 years?
No, I get that, but you got to look at it from Knob Creek's perspective. They're marketing to a mass audience, right?
100%. I understand. And you mentioned the proofing down. I think that's a calculated thing of if they're looking and they're sitting in focus groups, which I'm sure Fred loves. When the focus group people come, they're like, Fred, we've done some groups and they just don't like 130 proof bourbon. And he flings them out a window.
And we know what Fred thinks about.
We know what Fred thinks about the corporate
writers
people.
And focus groups and corporate people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm getting on it, which, mind blown. And I can't even tell you the last time I've even eaten this or ate this. What's the proper conjugation? I don't know, but peanut brittle. All of a sudden, I'm getting peanut brittle. It's probably been since I was a kid, like honestly under 12 years old.
Are you having a stroke?
I am not having a stroke, but that's what just popped into my mind and on my palate. Peanut brittle. It's like I'm going back to my grandmother's house and she's made peanut brittle.
Well, that's great. Hey, if that's the experience you have with this bottle, then that's awesome. If I want a rye, I want a rye that tastes like a rye and drinks like a rye, and that's what I like. This is, and I think you may have said this is more of a bourbon drinker's rye.
It is.
This has more bourbon character than it has rye character. I don't get a ton of rye character.
I will say this, if I'm really in the mood for a rye, I'm not grabbing this. That's, to me, this is, once again, and I want to say a high rye bourbon, but I don't know. I feel like the bourbon character is more.
There's a lot of bourbon
Yeah.
character in that, and that I think is one of the reasons why maybe I don't like it. And
Which is fine.
It's not that I don't like it. It's just not. It's not something that I would drink regularly or buy a bottle of or ever consume again. If you put
I
it
will
in
drink
my
this
head.
bottle.
I'm sure
I will
you
drink it neat. I
Yeah.
will drink it on the rocks. I will drink it in a old fashioned. I will drink it.
Yeah, but that's why you watch our videos, to learn. So if you like a spicy, robust, in-your-face baking spice rye that kind of takes you on a journey, that may not be this one. This is much more bourbon forward, kind of softer with maybe a little bit of rye character. So if that's more in your wheelhouse and you're not necessarily a rye drinker, this may be for you.
Absolutely.
Look at us helping you.
And it's better than the 18-year bourbon. I will say that.
Oh, 100%.
Without a doubt.
And
Without a doubt. And
less than half the
less than
cost.
half the
Yeah.
price.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, there you go. So, Glenn, tell the people what to do.
Well, first of all, I'm going to ask you to click the link in the comments and maybe buy a t-shirt. Buy a you
hat?
know what? Your wife doesn't watch us, but she would love to have a t-shirt, and we have ladies sizes too. So
We sure do. And if you golf, we have golf towels. Beautiful microfiber golf towels. They're amazing.
Yes. And when you buy merchandise from us, hat, t-shirt, whatever it may be, you're supporting our channel. We don't ask for anything else. That's all we do, right? That's all we ask for.
Unless you wanna
Buy
send
some
us money.
merchandise, and you're
You
not
know.
just sending us money, you're getting something in return. And it's good product. It's not cheap. It's not chintzy. And also, subscribe, like on YouTube, follow us on socials, Sowing a Bourbon on Facebook and Instagram, and Whiskey Realtor on TikTok. Charlie, tell them what to do.
Most of all, you have to keep those wallets loose.
And your bungholes tight.
Good night.
Is that good? Did I do that right?
You did really well. I'm proud of you. Good night, everybody. Don't buy Knob Creek.
But
You act like I've never done this before.
usually their wax is like super wax.
Wax is like super waxy.
Oh.
Got hot too.
Good gracious. I'm not wearing my
Balls
glasses.
of fire. Can you see the white?
By the way,
I know you can't see
I did
anything.
not like the way I looked in that hat for our previous episodes.
By the way, nobody thinks anything about what we look like. Can you see the white in my beard from? You notice how
There's
white?
no white, it's red. There's a tiny bit. Dude, you want to see white? Let me grow my beard out.
I don't want to see white.
White, red, brown, gray, like
Coat of many
it's
colors.
very multicultural. It's Glenn and his amazing Technicolor dream beard. Seriously.
Straight to
Straight to
Broadway.
Netflix. Straight to YouTube. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Is your mic on?
It's not even literally attached. Why did I? Why am I even here?
Just get undressed, Charlie. Just why didn't you just strip down? You might as well have.
It's been a while. Well, you know what they say: once you see me naked, you die. It's like that girl from The Ring.
You never see me again. You
ring
were
is
always
loosely
on
based
my
on me.
mind. You were always on my
Instant
mind.
It's a good thing I like Fred and Freddie now.
Yeah. Fred and Freddie would probably whip your ass right about now if they heard you talking trash. Zoom in and back out and zoom in and back out. So just little technical stuff you wouldn't understand. Are you
All right,
ready?
Scorsese, let's do this.
Here we go.
All right, let's not be awkward. Action.